go ahead and jump in here to our Miss Wiltshire, Kansas virtual info night. It looks like most of you guys I actually know, except for maybe one person. But we'll just go through what I have down for my agenda for tonight. So, welcome you guys to our, I guess you would say, our first Miss Wiltshire, Kansas virtual info night. I'm going to just start by doing a little introduction of myself, and then I would love everyone that's here to introduce themselves. So, my name is Carrie Greenwood. I serve as the president, CEO, and state coordinator of Miss Wiltshire, Kansas Incorporated. I was also Miss Wiltshire, Kansas 2004 and had the awesome honor of being able to create this program in our state and bring it to all of the amazing women that we have here in Kansas. So I'm excited to have this info night. This is really the first time we've ever done this, but we thought it would be a really good opportunity to get to know some of the women that are out there who are possibly, thinking about being a part of this organization. So that's a little bit about me. I live in Topeka, and that's I guess that's really all I'll share about myself for now. Welcome to all of you who are here with us tonight. We're going to just kind of go around and have everybody introduce themselves. So, what I'd like you all to share is your name, what city that you live in, and everyone can answer this question. What is one thing that you wish that people knew about? I'm just going to say about people with disabilities in general. What is one thing you wish people knew about people with disabilities? So, name, city, one thing you wish that people knew about people with disabilities. Anyone want to start?
I'll go first so no one steals my answer.
Okay, sounds good.
My name is Angel. I was Miss Wiltshire, Kansas 2013. I am a current Miss Wiltshire, Kansas board member. I live in Augusta. And the one thing that I wish people knew about people with disabilities is that there is nothing that we can't do. There is nothing stopping us.
Awesome. Thank you, Angel. Who wants to go next?
I'll go. So I'm Kayla Shadag. I'm on the Ms. Wiltshire, Kansas board of directors. I'm on the event committee. I'm the marketing committee. I'm a woman of many hats. And my connection to disability is that I have a sister with an intellectual disability and a daughter with Down syndrome. And I'm now a professional disability advocate professionally for a career too, which is awesome. And I think the thing that I wish everybody knew, especially coming from like a parental position, is just that, and honestly from a self advocate point of view too, is that whatever you're feeling at any given moment is valid. That all of those highs and lows have a purpose, and that you can't feel guilty or weird about any given feeling, and you just have to kind of embrace it because it all adds up to be part of your journey.
Very true. Thank you, Kayla. Who's next?
I'll go. My name is Deja Coleman. I am from Atchison, Kansas. I am the current Miss Wiltshire, Kansas 2023. Only for a little while longer though. What I wish that people knew about people with disabilities is that we are fully capable of living meaningful and successful lives.
Absolutely. Thank you. Who's next? Hillary, you want to go? You're
Okay, I
unmuting
guess
yourself.
I'll go. Please forgive the froggy throat. I'm getting over a really bad cold. I am Hillary. I was Miss Wiltshire, Kansas 2020 and 2021 due to COVID. But I also serve as social media coordinator and contestant coordinator during our event. And I guess one thing that I wish people knew is that people with disabilities can and do hold jobs, because I am a successful substitute teacher. And I just wish they knew we were capable and working people.
For sure. Yes. And congratulations again. That's really exciting. Who's next? Tamara, would you like to go?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, I am Tamara. You said name, city. I live in Bel Air, Kansas, which is like a suburb of Wichita, so in Wichita. Um, and one thing that I wish that people knew about those of us with disabilities is, um, we're just like them. We have good days, we have bad days, and to those of us who struggle, because sometimes I struggle with having a down day, that it's okay to not be okay, and we're just like everybody else, and everybody else needs to see us just like everybody else. So
Mhm. Awesome. Thank you. It's so nice to meet you finally. Kind of sort of meet you through Zoom. Glad you're here. All right. Leslie or Samantha, who wants to go next? Leslie, don't be shy.
I can go. I'm not sure of the question, but
Oh, sure. So the question was, what's your name, what city you live in? But I think, Samantha, you're from another state, I believe. And then one thing that you wish people knew about people with disabilities.
yeah. Um, is this just for Kansas people? I didn't know.
Oh, I mean, it's totally fine. It could be anyone that wants to know more about what we do.
Okay. Well, I'm Sam. I'm from Iowa. And um just that even if people with disabilities don't hold jobs, I think it's important to be active in the community. And that's one of my things I strive to tell people. So,
Okay, awesome. Well, thanks for joining us.
yeah.
All right, Leslie, your last one.
Hi, I'm Leslie. I live in Wichita, Kansas. One thing that I wish people knew was, that's kind of hard. Um, can't even think of one.
What do you want your classmates that don't have disabilities to know?
That I'm basically just like everybody else.
Okay. Sounds good. It's kind of what some of the other people have said here. Cool. Thank you. All right. Well, thanks for answering that question, you guys. I kind of wanted to start with that because I feel like being involved in our organization, being a contestant, being a title holder, that it is an open door to educating people about all the things that we just mentioned. Educating people with disabilities, educating people without disabilities. It's a platform to be able to educate other people about, the fact that all those things you guys said, that we're the same as everyone else. We're different in a lot of ways too, but that we live full lives, we do all these things, we are active, and that we are living um, active and full lives like everyone else is, and that this is the platform to be able to educate people about that. So I kind of just wanted to start there because I think sometimes there are perceptions about what this program is about and things like that. And so I wanted to just start with that to kind of get that out of the way of what is this really about. So what I'm going to be going through tonight is what is this program about? What's involved in being a Miss Wiltshire, Kansas title holder? What are the requirements to participate? Kind of what's the process behind all of this? And then we're also going to have some of our, as you guys can see, some of our former title holders and current title holders are here. And so having them share a little bit about, how they were impacted by being a Miss Wiltshire, Kansas title holder. So I'm going to start with what is Miss Wiltshire, Kansas? So again, I think a lot of times people have an impression of what this program is. And a lot of times it's not at all what people think it is. So Miss Wiltshire, Kansas is a leadership and empowerment program for women who are wheelchair mobile in our state. So each year, one woman is selected And then we'd also have our Little Miss program. Tonight, we're kind of focusing on the adult program, but we also have a Little Miss program. So each year, an adult title holder and a Little Miss title holder is selected to advocate, educate, and empower all people on a state level. So that person is given this title and then is able to go out and educate people, serve as a role model, serve as a spokesperson for people with disabilities in our state, and really learn. A lot of the women who come to us have great leadership skills, but really expand upon their leadership skills and work to educate people in our state about not only women who are wheelchair users and females who are wheelchair users, but all people with disabilities in our state. So in a nutshell, that's what Miss Wheelchair Kansas is all about. And we'll go through here after a while what it is and also what it's not, because I think a lot of times, again, there are perceptions about what this program is, and sometimes those perceptions aren't completely accurate. So we're going to go through some of that as well. But in a nutshell, that's kind of what this organization is about. We are a leadership program, a leadership organization. And so what does it mean to be Miss Wheelchair Kansas? What are the duties? So I'm going to go through a little bit of that. So again, every year, as far as the adult program goes, one woman is selected to do a lot of different things. And there's a lot of different pieces to being our title holder, but it's a very unique experience that opens the door to a lot of different things. And so here's some of the different things that is involved in being our title holder. So advocacy is one piece of it, being able to advocate for our disability community. And that can come in a lot of different forms. That could mean that you're going and talking to just other people about issues that people with disabilities are facing. That could mean that you're going to talk to the legislature and talk to them about things that are really important for our community. This piece also involves developing a platform. So many of the ladies on here have been our title holders, and they each developed a platform that is a platform is a topic that you are passionate about and that you want to educate other people about. And so each of our title holders develops a platform that they want to go out and kind of use as their guide of who maybe who they're going to talk to and what they're really going to educate people about. So someone else is in the waiting room. There we go. So that platform is a very central piece to being our title holder. And that platform can be, it really can be anything you want it to be. We've had everything from employment of people with disabilities to parenting with a disability to Deja's is currently really focused on advocacy. So her advocacy platform is on advocacy. It makes sense, right? There's a whole range of platforms that people have chosen over the years, and it's specific to that person and what they're really passionate about. So that's kind of the advocacy piece of being our title holder. Appearances. As a title holder, our ladies go out and make appearances. So that what we require as a program is that our title holders, our adult title holders at least, have at least 2 appearances each month. That's kind of the minimum. A lot of people do way more. Some people might do like more in a certain month and then maybe less in another month, but pretty much we like to see 2 appearances per month. Now that could be a lot of different things. That could be going and doing a presentation. It could be going to a school and reading to kids. It could be going to a local civic organization and telling people about yourself or telling people about the Miss Wheelchair Kansas organization. It could be going to a parade and being in a parade, or even just attending an event and having a booth. It could be a community service project. It could even be, some months like the weather's really bad, right? So it could even be like writing a letter to the editor of a newspaper or doing a media interview through Zoom. Hillary did a lot of that type of stuff because her time was kind of in the COVID era. So it really, there's so many different possibilities when it comes to appearances, and that again, that's shaped by what that person wants to do, but then there are also certain events that we require as an organization, just because our title holders, go every year, and it's a good relationship that we have with different events and different organizations that are out there. So some is guided by that person and what they want to do, and some of it would be our organization saying, hey, we'd really love for you to go to this event and that event, that kind of thing. So the appearances are a big piece of being our title holder, because that's where the real education happens, and breaking down those stereotypes happens in during those appearances. Mentoring. So our lovely Leslie on here was one of our Little Miss title holders, and really exciting part of being Miss Wiltshire, Kansas is that you get to mentor the new Little Miss who will be selected in March as well. So that just means that our Little Miss and our adult title holder go out and do appearances together. We ask that our adult title holder and our Little Miss title holder do at least 10 appearances together throughout the year. So that's kind of a minimum of what we like to see. But also, we just want it to be a mentoring relationship where that adult title holder is in frequent contact with our younger title holder, and just, mentoring them, being an example for them, calling them, texting them, whatever works best for them. And just, having that frequent communication where they have someone that they can really look up to and really learn from. So, and also helping recruit for the Little Miss program too is a piece of being our title holder as well. Staying in contact with myself as the state coordinator, president, CEO, as well as our board of directors. So kind of just making sure that you're giving us updates on what you're doing. We do have a contract that our title holders sign, that type of stuff, and then sending in bi-monthly reports of, where have you been? What have you been doing? Who did you meet? That kind of stuff. That's just kind of the logistics piece of being our title holder. A big piece of being Miss Wiltshire, Kansas is that you get to represent our state at the national competition. And I feel like almost all of our title holders over the years have said that the national competition is definitely one of their highlights. I know Deja has mentioned that this year. She was just at nationals in August. It's an amazing experience to be able to go to nationals and meet 25 or so other women from across the country who are strong and dynamic and accomplished, and all these things that all of us on here are and strive to be. Meeting that many other women across the country who have that same mindset, and being able to come together with them and learn and do sessions and do activities and network with them is such an amazing experience. And so as our state title holder, that person gets to go to nationals and experience that week, but also, of course, compete for the national title too, which is really cool. And if that person does win the national title holder, then they get to do, what they're doing on a state level on more of a national level. So, but with that comes a little bit of preparation. So, and I think sometimes this is a part of being our title holder that people get a little scared of, but it's not really as scary as it sounds. Nationals does have an entry fee of $2,000. And so whoever becomes our title holder has to raise that money. But even though that may sound really intimidating, trust me, that would have sounded really intimidating to me and it did sound intimidating to me when I had to raise it. But you would be amazed that people really support you when you become a title holder like this. And so what I always suggest to our title holders is just to, figure out every person you've ever known in your life and reach out to them and get their support. And you would be amazed how quickly that entry fee can come together when you do that. So that entry fee is a part of it. It is turned in 2 different increments. So it's not like you just have to come up with $2,000 overnight. There's an application and some forms that have to be completed as well to prepare for nationals, as well as a speech that has to be prepared for nationals as well. But the whole experience is very, very much worth all the preparation that goes into it, because it's just the most amazing week. This coming year's national competition will be August 19th through the 25th, and it will be in Grand Rapids, Michigan. So yeah, so that's kind of the dates for this next year. And then, of course, so the national competition is part of being our title holders, going to that. And then after your year as a title holder, of course, there's some responsibilities as far as the next year's event, helping with that, helping to recruit for future events. Our title holders don't have to be a part of our board, but there's plenty of opportunities to become a board member, serve on committees, those kinds of things after being a title holder. So that's just a kind of a quick overview of what the duties are of being a Miss Wheelchair Kansas title holder. So let me stop there for a second and see if anyone has any questions. Again, most of you have been a part of this, but I know Tamara, you're kind of new to this. So does anyone have any questions so far as like the duties go and that sort of thing?
You said as far as the appearances that there are some that you guys request that the title holder goes to.
Mhm.
But as far as the two, like I guess there's like two that you guys each month. Are there like a list of different things that you would say like how do you as the title holder decide like to appearances that other than the ones that you guys would say I would that this is what you need to do?
Yeah, great question. So there are some that we just like the Midwest Ability Summit we've gone to for multiple years, and just different events like that our title holders have gone to for multiple years. And so those would be ones that I would reach out and say, hey, this is coming up. Are you available? That kind of thing. So outside of that, we definitely provide ideas and suggestions to our title holder. That's where a lot of our former title holders come in because they can be like, hey, I went to this event and it was really cool. You should try it out. When we have our state event in March, we'll really talk a lot about what are possibilities of things that you can do. And again, a lot of it is shaped by what your platform would be that you would choose and what audience needs to hear that platform. So if you're passionate about educating kids, then you would focus a lot of your appearances on going to schools. If you're really passionate about educating about employment, well, then you would find audiences that would fit that and would want and need to hear those kinds of things. I'm going to actually ask, like Angel, how did you come up with some of the appearances that you went to? Because you did a ton.
Well, part of it is I looked for what was fairly local and it just reached out and asked a lot of the local organizations if they were interested. And then it just by word of mouth. I mean, I got a lot of people just calling and asking. And sometimes it's, just a dream. It'd be fun to do something. I thought it would be fun to do something at Oztoberfest at the Wizard of Oz Museum. And so I just called them to see if there was anything. And I was actually a judge of their costume contest. So there are so many opportunities out there.
I feel like what you said, Angel, is very true, that like one leads to another. So you go to maybe like a river fest or something. Well, that leads to, oh, you met 10 other people who might suggest that you come to other events. So it's kind of a spiral of, networking, and you hand out your business card when you go to these different things and it leads to other appearances. So it sounds like that would be hard to come up with two things each month, but it's really not. I don't feel like it's really that difficult to be able to find those opportunities. So yeah, I hope that answers your
And
question.
I do know that if the title holder is struggling to come up with things, we have a board, we have a huge sisterhood of previous title holders that are all here for you to just ask and brainstorm ideas.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Okay. All right. So I'm going to keep going with what are the requirements to participate, which I believe, Tamara, you fit this. And I'm just focusing this on you because you are one person here that I'm hoping will be a contestant this year. So requirements to participate is that you have to be a U.S. citizen who's 21 or older for our Ms. program. Utilize a wheelchair for 100% of mobility outside of the home. So basically what that means is that when you're outside of your house, you're pretty much in your chair for most of the time. Be a resident of Kansas for at least the past 6 months. Marital status is not a consideration. So women can be married or single and participate in this program. You cannot have had a title in another state. So you could not have been, let's say, Miss Wheelchair, Missouri before, and then come to Kansas and be Miss Wheelchair, Kansas. And the rest of this is just be willing to fulfill our mission. So be willing to raise the money that's needed to go to nationals and that kind of thing. Be willing to travel, willing and able to travel. That doesn't mean that you have to drive yourself, but that you have some type of reliable transportation to get where you need to go to these different events. And then just be ready and willing to advocate, educate, and empower people in our state, which is our mission, obviously. So those are kind of the requirements to be a contestant. And then if someone wants to be a contestant, here's the process. So becoming a Miss Wheelchair Kansas contestant involves, first of all, filling out the application, which is a pretty basic application, basic information. A lot of it is telling us what you've done, like where do you work? Where did you graduate? What are community things that you're involved in? What are you passionate about? So filling out that application is kind of the first step. And that application includes an entry fee of $150. So that entry fee can be something that a person pays on their own if they're able to do that. And if they're not, they can raise that through sponsors. And if someone is ever struggling with that, they can always contact us and let us know. And we can help if that is a barrier to someone. So the entry fee, $150, and then a portrait that is not for beauty purposes. It is more purposes of putting it in our program is why we ask for a picture. And then a recommendation letter from someone who can say good things about you and your skills and why you should be Miss Wheelchair Kansas. So you send in that application, and that for this upcoming year is due January 7th, 2024. So once that is sent in, that person is automatically considered a contestant for that year. So then becoming a contestant means that that person gets to attend our weekend event. But before that, there is a little bit of preparation. So that weekend event includes a platform speech. So the pieces that the person is scored in is 2 interview sessions with our judging panel. So that's basically where they ask questions and you answer their questions. So you do that twice in the weekend, and then there's a platform speech. So the platform that I talked about before, each contestant takes that platform and comes up with a 2.5 to 3 minute speech on that topic that they present at the crowning on stage. And so preparing that speech is a part of, getting ready for the weekend event. And then each contestant is also asked 2 questions on stage as well during the crowning. So those 4 pieces is where the contestants are scored. And then whoever has the highest score at the end of all of that is the next title holder. So that's kind of how the scoring happens. So, a little bit of preparation for that before the event gets here. And then the weekend event for this year is going to be March 22nd through the 24th. And while it is a competition, the weekend is a very, very fun and empowering weekend. It's just an opportunity to gather with women in our state who are amazing. And we do have a lot of different informational sessions throughout the weekend that our contestants get to attend on, things like self-esteem, advocacy. We've done like women's health before. So we kind of just come up with different topics that are of interest to our contestants and bring in speakers to talk on those topics. We also have a lot of different activities that we do. We help you to prepare for your platform speech. The weekend also, we bring our Little Miss girls in as well. So part of the weekend is where we bring together our adult contestants with our Little Miss girls, and we do a community service project. We do some fun hands-on activities. There's a party that we have one of the nights. And then, of course, the final day is the crowning ceremony, which is what everything kind of culminates in, where our contestants get to come on stage and do their speech and are asked the questions on stage. And so while this is while this kind of looks like a pageant, we don't call it a pageant because it is very different in the way that people are scored and what the focus is on. But people do see it similar to that because we do have the crowning ceremony. You do get to get dressed up for that crowning ceremony, that kind of thing. So there's some pieces of it that we do kind of follow when it comes to, I guess, a pageant in a way. And the crowning is kind of the biggest piece of that looks similar to that. So that's kind of the process to becoming a contestant, and then how it works from there. And of course, again, whoever has the highest score at the end of the weekend becomes our new title holder. Um, what I also wanted to share, and then I'm going to get to our current and former title holders here. Again, as I said before, I think a lot of times people have an impression about what this program is and what it's not. And so I'm going to go through a couple things of what it's not, first of all. So this is not a beauty pageant. Again, people hear Miss Wiltshire, Kansas, and they automatically think beauty pageant. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with beauty pageants at all. We just, for our program specifically, we focus on, the scoring is focused on that person's accomplishments, how articulate they are, their advocacy work, their desire to go out and educate people in our state. So that's what the scoring is really focused on. So we don't have like a swimsuit competition. We don't have the talent portion. We do have, again, the speech on stage. So that is a talent in its own right. But we don't have a lot of those other pieces that a typical pageant would have. So we really try to help people to understand that this is not a beauty pageant. It is different from that in a lot of different ways. Another misconception I think sometimes that we get is that this is an opportunity only for people who are not busy. Let me tell you right now, the ladies on here who have been title holders are very busy people, and they have still been successful title holders. So I really like people to understand that you can still have a job and be Miss Wiltshire, Kansas. You can have a family and be Miss Wiltshire, Kansas. You can be really involved in the community and be Miss Wiltshire, Kansas. That shouldn't stop you from having this opportunity because we can really work with that. We understand people are busy. We understand that people have lives, and we want to work with you to be able to still be, our title holder and do that successfully with everything else going on as well. I mean, we want a title holder who is busy and who is doing a lot of things because that's what we want people to see. So, so that's one of the, I think, misconceptions sometimes is that you can't be busy and be Miss Wiltshire, Kansas, and you very much can be. I also think sometimes that people think this is an opportunity only for people who are rich because there is such an entry fee for nationals, for our state program, that kind of thing. Trust me when I say that most of our title holders have raised the money through sponsors to do all this stuff. It's not like they just pulled, $1,000 out of their pocket and said, here you go. So now it does take a little bit of work to get sponsors and raise that money, but it is very much doable. So you do not have to be rich to be Miss Wiltshire, Kansas. Also, I think sometimes people think that this is a program only for girly girls. Now, I don't know how many ladies on here would say that they're a girly girl. I would have to say that I would claim that. But Deja is definitely shaking her head no. So, again, I think it goes back to people have that perception that, oh, we get dressed up and all this good stuff, and that is a piece of it, but you do not have to be a girly girl to be a part of this organization. It is fun to do all those things, to wear makeup and get pampered, and that's a piece of the weekend, but it's not something that you have to do. Like, you don't even have to wear makeup that weekend if you don't want to. I don't care. So it's not just for girly girls. It's not just for people who like glitter and sparkle and all that good stuff. It is for women who are passionate and articulate and who have a message to share. And that's where the focus is at. And the last one that I think that people often think is that this is something only for professional speakers only. Being a good speaker does not happen overnight. And this program, I think, has helped a lot of people to learn how to become a better speaker. All of us, came into it with some good speaking skills. Obviously, otherwise that person wouldn't have won. But you don't have to be a professional speaker to do this. You can, as long as you're comfortable, at least with trying and learning, and you could be a shy person and be Miss Wheelchair Kansas, honestly. So that skill can definitely be learned and be honed over your time as a title holder. So those are some of the things that I think a lot of times people think that this program is, when it's not necessarily those things. What it is, these are the things that I feel that it is. It's an opportunity to share your voice. It's an opportunity to tell your story. It's an opportunity to educate for our people with disabilities, to advocate for those topics and those issues that are important to our community. It's an opportunity to challenge perceptions and break those stereotypes of what and who a woman with a disability is. It's a chance to be a mentor, which I love that piece of it. And then, of course, it's a very unique opportunity to be a part of a sisterhood. You're seeing a few of us here, but our sisterhood is huge. So this will be our 19th event, but our 20th title holder. So, no, that's not right. Yeah, 20th title holder. Yeah, I think I said that right. So it is a sisterhood of amazing adult females and the younger generation, like Miss Leslie, who's on here, who are up and coming leaders, who are here for each other and support each other. And that, to me, I think is one of the most amazing pieces of our organization, is that sisterhood that you're joining. So that's what this program is. So now I would love to hear from, I asked two of the ladies to share. So Deja is our current title holder. So Deja, can you tell us a little bit about how being a Miss Wheelchair Kansas title holder has positively impacted your life?
I think it's really given me the chance to be the role model that I wish I had growing up. I'm only 23, but still growing up, disability wasn't prevalent in media or anything like that. When I was in elementary school, I was one of the only disabled kids at the school. So I didn't really have a lot of peer role models. So to be able now to go out into the disability community as an adult and be that role model that I wish I had is really important to me.
Awesome. So why do you think other women should participate in this program?
I think that it helps you find your voice within yourself, but it also gives you a new kind of confidence. For example, when I went to nationals, I made 17 other friends that I didn't know before, but we all had something in common and we all learned from each other and we grew with each other and we navigated some of those obstacles together. And they are still some of my best friends in the entire world. We talk almost twice a week, every week. So I like that piece of it too.
Very cool. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So Angel, I asked you to share as well. How do you feel like being a title holder positively impacted your life?
Well, I found this program. I had a car accident when I was 29, which is what led to me using a wheelchair 100% of the time. And life turned upside down, and I had no idea how to be a successful and live life in a wheelchair. And I luckily stumbled across this program and got involved and found myself surrounded by amazing women who could teach me and show me how being in a wheelchair doesn't have to change a thing. You are still successful. You can still do whatever it is that your dreams are. You might just have to make some adjustments and pivot a little, but it all can still happen. And that is what I've learned and grown from being a part of this program. Is I continue every year, there are new amazing women added to this sisterhood, to this group of women that teach each other how to live successful, confident lives in a wheelchair.
Awesome. So, I mean, that kind of answered the next question, but why do you think other women should participate?
Well, as with everything, if there's something that is part of your life, then other people probably don't understand 100%. I mean, my family, my friends that do not use wheelchairs don't have any clue the kinds of things that we're up against every single day. But all the women in this program get it. They understand it, and we can help each other and support each other.
Love it. Yep, absolutely. So, Hillary, I didn't know you were going to be here, so I didn't ask you to share, but would you like to share anything about how being a title holder impacted you?
Sure, I'd love to. I didn't know about this organization until it was thrown into my lap randomly all the way back in 2009, 2019, and I didn't consider myself a very good speaker or a very good advocate for even myself. And I think that is where what I learned from this. I learned to be a better advocate for myself. Like Deja was saying earlier, I didn't have a lot of good examples of disability growing up, or what it meant to be successful, going to college and achieving things when I was younger. And so this group of people gave me that opportunity. And I just want to say, like, don't let it scare you. It sounds a lot, all of this stuff sounds intense, but don't let it scare you. It's also about letting your personal story be shared, and people really just want to get to know you. And so if you're willing to do that and be vulnerable, this experience will be life changing. And I will also say, Carrie pointed out, people sometimes say in order to be Miss Wheelchair Kansas, you have to have, all this free time. I was a college student while I was had my reign, and so I was a very busy person, but it's still possible to do all of this and enjoy it and have such a wonderful experience. So I would definitely encourage people to do it.
Thanks, Hillary. Leslie, would you like to share about what being Little Miss Wheelchair Kansas? Like, was it fun? Did you enjoy it? Did you learn something from it?
I enjoyed it a lot because there's a little story behind this, but I play on a basketball team, and some of the, I want to say, like older title holders, there's some that were title holders in the past years, and we play on a team together, so it's really exciting because I actually get to know half of you guys, and it's just really, really, really fun, and I really enjoy it.
Did you like having Marcy as a mentor? Was that helpful to you?
We
Yeah,
got along pretty well, so.
good, good. Glad to hear it. Well, little fun fact for you, Leslie, we are contemplating and working on possibly doing a Junior Miss program. So, hint, hint, be thinking about that.
Oh,
Not
I will.
year, but maybe for next year. So putting that out there for you. Awesome. Thanks, you guys, for sharing. I think, I can sit here all day and talk about what this program does and what it means and all of that, but to hear from the people who have done it and have been impacted by it, I think is the best way to show people just how fantastic this really is and how unique of an opportunity it is for people. So I know that was a lot that we just threw out there, a lot of information, but I hope it was helpful.